Welcome back and thank you for being with us. We've been talking about the meaning of Ramadan, the meaning of Eid and the celebration, and also the necessity to cite the moon and the science behind it. We've talked to Imam Mardini and Dr. Sheikh Hazari, and tradition is a big part of the celebration. And each, there are Muslims all over the world, and each community has its own tradition. And I remember growing up in the Middle East, and we had a tradition. We try as much as possible to preserve that tradition for our children here. And with us is Dr. Sara Saida. And now you're welcome to the show, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Brother Holly. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm excited to talk.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now you're from Pakistan, and you grew up there. Is that correct?
So yes, I was born in Pakistan and I left Pakistan when I was 12.
Okay.
So yep, childhood was spent in Pakistan, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the time has been here in North America.
Sure. How different is it, the celebration between Pakistan and here?
So I think the major difference is that in Pakistan, everywhere on the streets, in the shops, malls, anywhere you go, you see lights and you see festivities and you see bangles everywhere. These are bangles. These are
Oh,
bangles
okay.
that you
Okay.
wear,
Yeah.
colorful
Yeah.
bangles
Yeah.
that we wear. So we see these everywhere on the streets and the shops in Pakistan. And here, of course, we do that in our homes. So
Yeah.
we try to make it very festive for our children in our homes with lots of lights and flowers and just colorful stuff. But I think the main difference is that we don't see the same festivity outside. The children are still going to school. We're still going to work the whole month of Ramadan, and it's been really tough on children and the people that are working. We're staying up late, but on the day of Eid, I usually take my kids out of school.
Yeah.
But they still have to make up the exams they may have missed, or assignments or projects. So I think that's the difference.
What kind of a tradition you preserve at home for the festivity for the Eid,
Yeah.
for the kids?
So at home we have this special dish. It's called sheer korma. It's made out of a very thin spaghetti-like pasta, but very, very thin, and it's cooked in milk and sugar, of course.
Okay.
That's called sheer khurma. It's something very traditional, and every year in Eid you see that dish everywhere in Pakistani homes. So we try to make that. We make other traditional dishes. We have a lot of, like I said, colorful clothing. But I have boys, so they wear like a shalwar kameez.
What
So
is
they
that?
it's a longer shirt with
Okay.
yeah, so it's not like we try not to wear like pants and shirt because we wear that all the time. So on Eid day, my boys wear shalwar kameez, which is like a longer shirt, white shirt, usually like a vest on top. Um, and the ladies, of course, they go all out with all their colors, like I showed you, with the bangles, and they put henna on their hands, and they pull out the colorful jewelry and the clothing. We have so much color in
Yeah.
Pakistani
Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
tradition. Yeah, Pakistan is very rich in its tradition and culture. So I just love the beautiful colors that come out of
Sure.
there.
Are you gonna do the henna?
Yes, we do it. So tonight we have a function which is called Chandrat, which we do the night before Eid. So inshallah, hopefully, if Eid is tomorrow, we're having that function tonight anyway. So in that function, we have somebody that comes in who's professional at making henna designs. So she'll be putting henna designs on all the ladies and girls, and anybody that wants henna designs. We'll
Yeah.
have lots of
Yeah.
flowers. We even make flower bracelets, and I just made them actually for all
Yeah.
the girls. So we have flower bracelets, and we're going to be doing that tonight.
That's a great tradition. I remember my sisters, they used to do that, the night of the Eid, and my mom, and they do their hair with henna, they do their hands with henna.
Yeah,
And it's I mean the Eid is, when growing up, Eid was one of my favorite days. We could
yeah,
do whatever we wanted, we get money to spend on whatever we wanted.
right,
And
right.
then fasting. I mean, as a kid, fasting the whole month of Ramadan. Finally, we could eat whatever we want. But
Absolutely.
our family used to say, "Don't eat too much because you may get sick."
Right, right. We also have these beautiful envelopes, and they say Eid Mubarak on it, and we put money in it, and we give it to each kid that we see. So
Yeah,
we try to carry similar traditions because I
yeah,
really want
yeah,
the children to have that feeling that I had growing up.
yeah,
So we have to put in that extra effort at home and with
yeah,
family and friends
yeah.
to have them feel that.
Definitely, I miss the family gathering because, I talk to my mom on WhatsApp and I see the whole family gathering, that having dinner together, having lunch together.
Yeah,
And but we miss that. We try to, as much as possible, to preserve that, but it's difficult when your family is not around.
absolutely.
Some of the families here that they have their extended family here, they don't feel it as much.
Right.
Uh, as far as sweets, what are some of the popular dishes that
Yeah.
you
So
make?
in terms of sweets, like I mentioned, one of the most popular one is sheer korma, which is the very, very, very thin spaghetti pasta
Is that
cooked in.
like angel hair?
Yes, even thinner than angel hair, I would say. So first it's fried with sugar and oil, and then
Okay.
it's mixed in the milk, and then it's cooked for a while with lots of nuts in it. So
What's
that's
what's what's made out of? It's made out of flour?
no, so there's milk in it.
No, no, no.
So
I'm talking about the noodles.
the noodles are just pasta made out
Oh,
of
okay, okay,
you
okay.
can
Pasta
buy them
bake.
from the yeah, you can buy
Okay.
them from any of the grocery stores, and then you cook them, and then you put them in a bowl, eat them with a spoon. But that's something that's a tradition that you'll see in every house. And then there's gulab jamun, which is like the round balls, and
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
so
You
they're all
talked about those.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
There's so many different variety of sweets. We call them mithai, and a little difficult to find them here in Michigan. But if you go to Chicago or Toronto, you'll get any kind of mithai you want because there's a huge Pakistani population there.
What
So,
is that?
uh, mithai is just it's an Urdu word for sweets.
Oh, okay, okay,
Have
okay,
different kinds of sweets. Yeah.
okay,
And the
okay.
different kinds of sweets are difficult to find in Michigan because we don't have that many stores that sell it. But if you go to Toronto or Chicago, you can find, so much variety. But at home, usually we make that sheer korma dish that I told you, or we make rice pudding.
Yeah.
Um, that's another thing that's quite popular, rice pudding. Um,
Rice pudding for you guys is a little bit different than the standard rice pudding. I think you boil it a little bit longer until the rice dissipates.
Yes, yes, that's right. We don't really feel the texture of the rice as much,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that yeah, and cooked, and it's a lot of milk. Very similar though to Arabic rice pudding that I've had, but again, it has its own certain flavor, and we put saffron in it
Yeah.
also. Yeah, so that changes flavor a little bit, and a lot of nuts in it. So yeah, that's another dish you'll see in all the homes.
My
So
mom, yeah, my grandmother used to put saffron in rice pudding. She used
ah,
to boil it quite a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, she traveled to different part of the to visit the holy shrines, and mixed with a lot of people, and she picked up some of these she used to put pine nuts on top of it.
Very
Really,
nice.
really good. Yeah, yeah.
Do you miss
So
that? I'm sure you miss that.
oh,
Mom.
I should do. I should do.
Yeah,
I don't eat sweets anymore, but I miss all of that.
yeah.
I eat a
Uh,
little bit of sweets, not as much as
right,
I used to. Yeah.
right.
As we get older, so we'd have to cut back on things. So
Absolutely. The
yeah,
good thing with us is that we have a lot of friends in the area that also don't have a close family. So
sure.
our friends have become family. So we do all of these gatherings together, the night before Eid, the Chandrat functions, the Eid functions, and we all try to bring in as much tradition as we can for our children. So
That's good.
yeah, so sometimes we even do gift exchanges, just like how we would do it in Christmas. So we really want our children to feel Eid is, as big as Christmas is here. So we
Mhm,
bring gifts
mhm.
for everybody. So we'll have like a mountain full of gifts, and, or we'll give money to each other. So we do that. And then for me personally, my family's in Toronto. So I do one day of Eid with all my friends here, and then the next day we go to Toronto. And then we do
Okay, okay.
another Eid, big Eid with everybody in Toronto. So I got my aunts and uncles and cousins and siblings and parents, everybody, you name it, all of them in Toronto.
That's
4
good.
hours
That's
away.
good. Yeah, you just ride. You drive your car there.
Yeah, it's just 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yeah,
We're so used to it. We do it so often.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sounds good.
very busy and
Now,
festive.
yeah, it's this is what's really beautiful about it. Being a Muslim here in America is that all of the different traditions. You talk to
Mhm.
people from Palestine, from Syria, from Lebanon. Although the common celebration is the Eid, but each one celebrates it differently.
Right.
They bring in different food, and from Lebanon, and even in Lebanon, from different parts of the country, they have
Mhm.
different food for the celebration.
Right.
Commonly in our part of the Lebanon, is they roast meat.
Ah,
It's
oh,
a
very
good day
nice.
for roasting meat. Yeah.
I
So
see.
and
We do that in Eid al-Adha, the
yeah,
roast
we
of the
do
meat.
we do
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I think we like meat more a little bit than more than you do,
Sweet.
guys. We use any excuse to
For Eid.
to roast meat. Yeah. These are really great traditions, and I hope that we do more to preserve it. Do you guys go out to sight the moon?
Not as a family, no, we don't. We just wait for the main like cleric of the mosque to let us know if it's
Okay.
possible or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some are going, some actually go by the calendar. So they
Yeah.
already know that it's set and it's Eid. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a bit
Yeah.
of a difference of opinion in that.
Yeah, I live right next to the park, and I take the kids and we go out there moon sighting. We just look, and like we don't know what we're looking for, but
Uh,
I just want them to get into this
yeah,
this feeling, like
yeah,
yeah, we don't depend on it 100% for
yeah,
us, seeing it, but it's good that we do that. We just
yeah.
walk to the hill and try to see,
Yeah, what a great
try to
idea.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's something that would be fun to do as a family.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
a good tradition,
for
and
sure.
people see us going and standing and going like,
Like,
and
they're
what
doing.
are these guys doing?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like to preserve that
Oh,
tradition. So
absolutely.
yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
really any final thoughts you want to share with us?
No, I would just like to say that I think it's really important to preserve our tradition, especially on these special days. If we're not going to make these important festive for our children, they'll never know the importance of it. Sure,
Yeah.
we do eat salah and we fast and stuff, but for children, when they're young, especially, these toys and gifts and money and festivities and food, these things stick with them. And so when they're
Absolutely.
older, they can transfer it to their children. So I think it's really important living, especially in this country when we're not seeing anything on the streets. We have to bring that Eid atmosphere and festivity inside within our
Absolutely.
homes.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Happy Eid to you and your family, and enjoy the
yeah.
time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
Happy.
absolutely. And I want to thank you all, thank our listeners, thank Imam Mardini for being on the show, thank Dr. Hazari, and then thanks Mike for a great production. You have a nice weekend, happy and safe Eid. Goodbye.
Thank